You are sitting in a temperature-controlled room right now. The lights are on. Your food is in the next room. There is no predator outside your window. Nothing is trying to kill you today. And yet your body is stressed. Your shoulders are tight. Your jaw is clenched. You checked your phone 3 times in the last 10 minutes and felt a small flicker of dread every single time. You lay awake last night turning over a conversation that happened 2 days ago. A conversation that is over. A conversation that cannot hurt you. Your brain does not know that. That is the strange truth hiding underneath your modern life. The organ sitting inside your skull right now was not designed for the world you are living in. It was designed for a world that no longer exists, a world of predators, scarcity, and social death. And it has no idea that world is gone. Neuroscientist David Eagleman describes the human brain as running on ancient hardware in a modern world. The architecture inside your head was mostly finalized somewhere between 200,000 and 300,000 years ago. That was when Homo sapiens emerged as a species on the African savanna. And the core threat detection systems buried deep in that brain are even older than that. Some of them go back millions of years. You are not imagining that your reactions sometimes feel irrational. They are rational. They are just rational for a world that no longer exists. Here is what that world actually looked like. Your ancestors lived in small bands. 50 to 150 people was the typical range. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar famously calculated that the human brain is structurally optimized to maintain roughly 150 stable social relationships. That number has become known as Dunbar's number. It is not a coincidence. It is a constraint. Your brain literally cannot keep track of more social connections than that with any real depth. It was never built to. The social world your brain evolved for was small, intimate, and intensely high stakes. Every single person in that group mattered enormously. Being liked was not a preference. Being accepted was not a personality trait. It was survival. If you were rejected from your group 100,000 years ago, you died. There were no lone wolves in the human evolutionary story, not successful ones anyway. The individual who wandered off alone faced predators, starvation, and exposure. The group was everything. So your brain built a system to obsess over it. That system is still running right now. Every time someone does not reply to your message quickly enough, a tiny alarm fires. Every time you feel left out of a conversation, your brain registers it as a threat. Not a social inconvenience, a threat. Research by psychologist Naomi Eisenberger at UCLA found that social rejection activates the same neural regions as physical pain. She called it the social pain overlap theory. The same part of your brain that fires when you stub your toe fires when someone excludes you at a party. Your brain cannot tell the difference between physical danger and social embarrassment. To the ancient circuitry underneath your thoughts, both of them mean the same thing. You might not survive this. That is why public speaking terrifies so many people. Rationally, you know standing in front of a crowd cannot kill you, but your brain is running a different calculation entirely. It sees a large group of evaluating faces and registers something ancient: judgment, potential exclusion, the possibility of exile, and it fires the stress response accordingly. The stress response itself is another piece of ancient machinery running in a modern context. When your brain detects a threat, it triggers a cascade of hormones. Adrenaline surges. Cortisol floods your system. Your heart rate climbs. Blood rushes from your digestive system to your muscles. Your pupils dilate. Your immune system temporarily suppresses. Your body is preparing you to run or fight. This is the famous fight-or-flight response, first described by physiologist Walter Cannon in the early 20th century. It is one of the most finely tuned survival systems in the history of biology. It was built for a lion. It was not built for a difficult email from your manager. It was not built for a mortgage. It was not built for a comment section. But your nervous system does not know the difference. The trigger is a perceived threat, and your ancient brain is a very eager threat detector. It would rather fire 100 false alarms than miss one real predator. That asymmetry kept your ancestors alive. A brain that underreacted to threats got eaten. A brain that overreacted to threats wasted some energy and felt some unnecessary fear. The overreacting brain won, and you inherited it. This is why chronic stress is so widespread in modern life. You are not broken. You are not weak. You are running a threat detection system that evolved for a world where threats were physical, immediate, and short-lived. A predator chased you. You ran or you fought. The threat resolved. Your cortisol dropped. You recovered. Modern threats do not resolve that quickly. Your mortgage does not go away. Your difficult coworker is there every Monday. The social anxiety you feel about a relationship sits in your chest for weeks. Your stress response was designed for sprints. Modern life runs it as a marathon. And your body pays the price. Now go deeper, because there is something even stranger happening inside your skull. Your brain does not just react to threats, it anticipates them, it predicts them. Neuroscientist Lisa Feldman Barrett has argued in her theory of constructed emotion that your brain is fundamentally a prediction machine. It is constantly building a model of the world based on past experience and using that model to predict what is coming next. Your emotions are not reactions. They are predictions. Your brain is generating an emotional forecast before the event even happens, and most of the time, you experience that forecast as reality. This means your brain is scanning the future for threats using data from the past. If you were rejected as a child, your brain logs that. If your early social environment was unpredictable, your brain logs that. It builds a model that says the world is risky, people are unreliable, and danger is close. And then it applies that model to every new situation. Firing alerts that belong to old circumstances. You walk into a meeting and feel dread. Not because the meeting is dangerous, but because your ancient prediction machine is pattern matching against old data and generating an emotional output labeled threat. You feel it is real because to your brain it is real. The prediction is as vivid as the event. Think about what this means for how you move through your day. The irritability you feel when you are hungry is your brain registering a resource shortage and preparing for conflict. Your ancestors who hoarded, fought for food, and became aggressive when supplies ran low survived. The calm and sharing ones sometimes did not. Your brain still runs that program. It is called hunger, and modern humans find it embarrassing. Evolution finds it logical. The reason you cannot stop scrolling on your phone is partly the same ancient reward system that drove your ancestors to search for food, safety, and social information. The dopamine loop that kept them scanning the environment for useful signals is the exact same loop that social media has learned to hijack. Your thumb is doing the same thing your ancestors' eyes did on the savannah. Scanning, scanning, scanning for something relevant. Something that matters. Something that tells you whether you are safe. The reason you feel worse after a big argument, even when you win, is your brain running a social cost calculation your ancestors needed. Every conflict within the group risked fracturing the bonds that kept everyone alive. Even winning a fight had a social price. Your brain learned to feel that. It still does. None of this is a flaw. That is the hard part to sit with. Every response that feels irrational to you was a brilliant solution to a problem your ancestors actually faced. The anxiety is not a malfunction. The social vigilance is not a weakness. The overthinking, the rumination, the hunger, the jealousy, the status obsession, these are all survival tools that worked. They worked so well that the genes encoding them survived hundreds of thousands of years and made it all the way to you. The mismatch is not inside you. It is between you and the world you were placed into. A world that changed so fast in the last 10,000 years, in the last 100 years, in the last 10, that evolution simply could not keep up. Culture accelerated, Biology did not. And so here you are, sitting in that temperature-controlled room, food in the next room, no predator outside the window, running ancient threat detection software on a modern problem set, feeling stressed about things that cannot kill you, feeling lonely in a city of millions, feeling afraid of a notification. Your brain still thinks you live in a cave, and tonight, when you lie awake at 2 a.m, turning over a problem that cannot be solved in the dark, you will know exactly why.